We'll get there. All praise.
All praise.
Okay. All praise to the Most High Living God of Israel, family. So glad to be before you. Want to give our mother all the praise that we can muster up. Give our mother and father all the honor and glory that we have. The rib has been going through quite a bit just in this day prior to Sabbath. And there's so much happening. And when we say so much is happening, there's a lot of change taking place. And we're dealing with getting our brothers right before Elijah comes. And a lot of these things that happen, have been happening, some of them we're going to stop because it was actually what we're doing that causes a lot of these things to happen. I'll praise the Most High Living God of Israel. So we're going to start out today with a story, and then we're going to lead into getting your understanding. Now, first, the rib would like to make this statement to those of you that are new with the Prophetess and those of you that have traveled over from the old recordings. Sometimes the rib speaks as if she's just talking to this immediate family. And sometimes that's not good because this family is a lot further advanced in knowledge and understanding of the word than those of you that are new to the Prophetess. And when me is talking to them as well as you. But when me is talking and me sometimes say things and you'll be like, well, I don't know that, or I don't know. Just because you've worked with us three years. Almost 3 years. Almost going on 3 years of knowledge and understanding coming forth to the old platform. So we just want to apologize if anyone's confused. If you're confused, I'm sorry. Mother is the author of it. All praise. So tonight, though, we're going to clear up some of the confusion about some of the curses. Now, we're going to find out what the house of bondage is and where the house of bondage is. A lot of people don't know what that actually means. Now, we are taught that Egypt is this place where, was it Iranians or Arabs and out in the desert where all these
Middle Eastern.
Yes, all these creamy colored people live. We're told that's Egypt. But when you read the Holy Scriptures and it speaks of Egypt, Egypt is associated with a phrase which lets you know that Egypt is any place the Lord chooses to torture her children. Me gonna say torture because these sons of a biatch tortured my people. All right, so let's start out with we're gonna not gonna do them all. We're gonna do a few because what me's gonna have you do is me's gonna have you go and pull them all up, because that's what makes me go a very, very long time, because we have a lot of scriptures that relate to the topic. But we are going to start with chapter 13 of Exodus. So if anyone is confused of what Egypt, where Egypt is, and what the house of bondage means, that's what the rib is here to do today. She's going to clear that up for you. So let's start with verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb of the children of Israel. Now let me explain that to you before you You get confused on that too. When it says that openeth the womb of the children of Israel, that means if a Hebrew Israelite man of the children of Israel impregnates a woman and her son busts through the womb, it belongs to mother. Firstborn always belongs to mother. Okay. So that nobody's, because I believe people get a little confused about the simple, but that is the simple way and the simplest way to explain it to you, the children of Israel. Both of male and beast. Male and beast means all your cattle servants, when they have a child, a male child, and it comes through the womb of another cattle female, you are to give that boy to the house of Levi as servants. Any other beast, and boy, is me gonna clear some things up when I get to teach you about a dog. Y'all thought a dog was a beast. Y'all just, well, anyway, me gonna clean some shit up, because the Bible speaks of dogs. It's talking about some non-people though.
All praise.
All praise. We're going to get all that shit cleaned up. But right now we're dealing with the house of bondage in Egypt. All that belongs to the Lord. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day. What does remember this day mean? It means don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. In which, we're going to deal with that too, ye came out from Egypt. Now, what gets you all wrapped up in the sand people is because they show you all these depictions of Egypt being in the sand. Well, let's give them that Egypt was in the sand. But let's also explain to you that God broke her earth up into 3 pieces. So where the sand was connected to the dry and the water and all the other stuff, when she broke it up, pieces floated away and now they're in different places, okay? Well, they were all attached. But that has nothing to do with the house of bondage. Egypt is what the house of bondage is called, because the place wherein the children of the house of Levi and Judah are placed in captivity is called Egypt. The house of bondage. It says, don't you forget now, you remember this. Remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of the hand of the capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. All praise.
All praise.
All praise. So that's the kickoff. I want everyone that is trying to learn to go after class. This is going to be something for you to do because you like to study. So me going to give you something to study. We want you to put in parentheses, house of bondage. It will pull every verse up pertaining to the house of bondage. Okay? But we're going to go to Exodus 20. And we're going to start at verse, let me get 13 off of here because that'll help give me some space. Let's go to Exodus 20. Start at verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Now, let me also tell you this. Wherever you go, you're on land. But the trickery is, oh, it's just this land only, this right here, this spot. Oh, You can't go anywhere unless you're on land. Well, you can go in the sea, but eventually you come back to what? Land. You can go up in the air, but eventually you come back to what? Land. So any place you go, you'll be on land. But what they try to do with these words is get you to conform to their way of thinking to cause you to sin and to believe things that aren't true, that this word Egypt is a city, a town, a place, and it's only that one place. No, it can't be. Because Disney World's supposed to be the happiest place on earth. How many Disney Worlds they got, y'all? Huh? Is the land of Disney World just in California? No, it's not. It's happier lots of places. It just so happens that Egypt is the saddest place on the face of the earth.
Yes.
For the house of Levi and Judah. Okay? So, I am the Lord, thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. All praises. Get rid of 20. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Me want to bring as many of them as me can, but me not gonna be able to do all of them. That's right. You're gonna do it for yourself. You're gonna read. Let's go to Deuteronomy 5. You're gonna read some more of them for yourself. We got quite a few of them. So me is driving a point home. Okay, me is driving a point home. And Moses called all Israel and said, verse 1. And said unto them, hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments, which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them, and keep, and do them. 2. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Hebron. And the Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive this day. Now, let me help your understanding a little bit on this. Moses is explaining to the children of Israel that stand before them, all of them, this covenant wasn't made with them back there. But all of us are here today when I give you this covenant. Huh? Every one of them was there. Y'all just thinking it was just those that were in the wilderness. But God didn't make new people to go into the wilderness. Jesus used the same folks he had. And they went into the wilderness. So when they were standing there, your fathers never heard this. So now that they're standing there as someone else, they're hearing it for the first time. This covenant. Because all of us are alive on this day.
All praise.
All praise.
All
we serve a mighty God. All praise. So there's no excuse for no bloodline of the house of Levi to not know this law. I brought all of them back. So when they birth and keep coming, this covenant will be taught and they will know it. All your generations. See, they couldn't have been asleep. They wouldn't have known. But now they know. And now we know. All of us knew this covenant. The Lord talked with you face to face in the mount out of the midst of the fire. I stood between the Lord and you at that time to show you the word of the Lord. For ye were afraid by reason of fire and went not up into the mount, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Am I driving the point home here?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm driving the point home. Thou shalt have none other God before me. Okay? There's more to read. Keep reading. I want you to read. I want you to learn. I want you to see. I want you to get. Let's go to Deuteronomy 6. There's even more. See, I think down in there it tells you another one to remember that she brought you out of Egypt from the house of bondage. Let's go to Deuteronomy 6. We're going to start at verse 12. Then beware, lest thou forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name.
All praise.
I swear, my God that sitteth upon the throne is the only true and living God, and she is the God of the Hebrew Israelites and no one else.
All praise.
Oh, you can't swear on God.
Mm-hmm.
Every time y'all heard, you can't swear using God's name. God said, swear upon me.
That's what she said.
I guarantee you, if you swear these words upon me, they are true. All praise.
All praise.
Let's look at Deuteronomy 8. Let's go at verse 13. And when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God. Mother is driving a point home. She's driving a point home, because there should be none of you to say, I didn't know that, I didn't know. But guess what? In this captivity, you didn't. Because your fathers couldn't teach you. They couldn't tell you. They got it beat. They killed them. They killed off the elders. The elders they got rid of them so they couldn't pass it on. Just like me was speaking with one of the elders here in Egypt with me. And like she said, our family didn't talk like this. And so when they so-called freed your ass, they said, oh shit, these niggas don't speak proper English. We got to get them into our institutions. What is an institution? Hmm? If you say institution, most people run.
All right.
Nobody wants to go into an institution,
No.
because we know what institutions are. So they put your children in institutions to drive them insane, because their Hebrew blood is very difficult for them to learn these things, these spells, and the way these words are used in a helica. So, that thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God. Y'all know what happens. You move into a nice, big, fancy house, got that good paying job. You know, y'all forget. I did all this. Huh? I bought this car. I bought this house. I slaved and I worked for it. And y'all forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Okay, so now me believes that everyone here understands about the house of bondage, right? Egypt is wherever Levi and Judah are under the slave master, where they treat you like shit, where they don't let you know you are a child of God, where it's let's kill them, let's wipe them off the face of the earth, sort of thing. Okay, so wherever Levi and Judah reside is called Egypt when they are in captivity, the house of bondage.
All
That
praise.
is why Mother is coming to take us out of the house of bondage. She is coming to redeem us, her children, out of the house of bondage.
All praise.
All praise, all praise, all praise, all praise. Now, we want to deal with something that will give you some insight on the house of bondage. And like I said, with this group that is here with the Prophetess, and we speak and talk to one another that you aren't a part of. If you're here with us on YouTube, you don't get to be a part of. But me is going to share a little bit of that with you today. And the Rib's going to do her best to open your understanding over some things that we do. We just learned, our men learned some things last week about things that they do. And those are curses. Using certain words are curses, forming them in sentences make curses, and the writing is called cursive, and all these things. But today, we're going to stop something. We're going to bring something to a halt that most people, it seems so innocent. And that's how they get us. They trick us with the simple things. You get tricked easily here in Egypt because you don't know. Now, let's look at bond, because bondage, there's a lot involved with bondage. Now, you may not have to read all those, but let's get some good ones out of bond. It's compound word, bondage, but bond is important. We're going to look at that.
Just a few.
It's quite a bit. They're going to look through them and give you some good, and speak loud enough for them to hear you.
Something that binds, fastens, confines, or holds together. 2, a cord, rope, band, or ligament. 3, something that binds a person or persons to a certain circumstance.
Certain circumstance. Are you in a circumstance, Israel? Are you bound to bondage? Go ahead.
Circumstance or line of behavior. 4, something as an agreement or friendship that unites individuals or peoples into a group. 5, binding, security, firm, assurance.
So you can't get out, right? You can't get out. You think because they give you a good job and you move into their neighborhoods that they don't want, so hopefully they don't burn a cross in your yard and burn your house down. But you think that you have freed yourself when you can make these moves, but you can't. The only reason why you can do some of these things is because the hand of the Lord has raised upon you a little bit. I'll praise.
7, any written obligation under seal. 8, law.
Written.
Written is something about written.
Law, a written promise of surety.
Surety?
Surety, yes.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's an surety. You went back into the house of Egypt. Listen, we're going to get that one too. Okay, so that's good. That should open your understanding up with bondage, because bondage is not good. Now, some bondage is good because you want to make sure your car is bonded and welded good, and something, any tools you use or something needs to be bonded together. You want to make sure that's it, but your flesh done been bonded to captivity. That's not good. So we're going to look at Deuteronomy. Of course, we're going to go to one of our favorites. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Rib's going to share something with you now that you know about Egypt and the house of bondage. let's see what Deuteronomy 28:68 got to say. And the Lord, my mama, capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, shall bring thee into Egypt. Now let me stop right there. Then somebody asked me, why don't we live with the Aboriginals? What are they? Aboriginals?
Aboriginals.
Why don't we live with them folks in the desert? If you look at Dubai don't look like no house of bondage.
No, it don't.
If you look at the whole Arab nation, ain't no colors over there living like we live here in Egypt. So if she was gonna send us back to the house of bondage in Egypt, if that's Egypt, why are we here? Because the house of bondage, Egypt is considered the house of bondage wherever Levi and Judah are sent into captivity. I think it'd be nice to live in Dubai. They may not want us Negroes there. But if you had to serve your captivity, Dubai would be pretty nice, don't you think?
Yes.
But mother put us back in the worst place you could go, which is hell, Egypt. They fighting over this crusty, horrible land. You stole it from somebody. It was crusty for them, and then you steal it, and you want to call it the greatest. It wasn't the greatest then, it ain't the greatest now, it shall never be the greatest. If it were the greatest, it wouldn't burn for eternity. It shall burn for eternity as a sign to anybody who thinks they're going to come up against this God ever again. So it ain't that great. So if she's going to send thee, she bring thee into Egypt. Wait a minute. There's a word there. What's up, sis? Look up again. Because I'm really wanting to drive this point home. If you go again, you had to already been. Huh? So that means you went back to the one you're in. What that make you land in Egypt? What's again mean?
Again means in return. Or back. Another one. Again. Once more. Another time.
All praise.
In addition.
I rest my case. I was told I could be a lawyer. But all praise, mother said, no, you'll be a prophetess.
All praise.
So, you back here where you once was. You same Negroes that died the first time is alive and well, going through the same shit. You picked them same troubles up as soon as you were born. Just a few days, and they was in you.
All praise.
All praise.
Come on.
So we don't have a problem with the understanding of where the house of bondage is and what Egypt is, and that we are in Egypt right now. All over again.
Yep.
Now you can ask them folks if they could send us to Dubai, but they don't even want to send us to Africa. They done paid all the money to get us here, but now they want you to pay to leave and go to Africa. Well, send us to Dubai since y'all say that's Egypt. Shit, pretty nice over there. All praise. All praise. All right, had a little fun. But anyway, let's go on down in this so that we can get a word that we had an understanding over so that you can know what we're talking about. Says, shall bring thee into Egypt again by ships. By the way, there whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Let me explain that. This is your last round.
All praise.
Thank you, Holy One.
After this one, you will not see Egypt the house of bondage again.
All praise.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. How much can I stress this, y'all? These are your enemies. You can't make them not be your enemy. You can't change that because you too stupid to know better. They are your enemies. For bond, not free, not happy, not comfortable. Bond men and bond women. And no man with a stick up his ass with open arms shall buy you.
All praise.
God praise.
He can't get his hand in his pocket to get the money out. All praise to the Most High Living God.
All praise.
So we're going to look at something tonight that people would think, well, we know this, I know this, I'm pretty sure I know this, but look at something. Let's go to Deuteronomy 18. We're going to start off with a simple thing. Something that we do every single day, something that is used. Let me do this. We always teach you the bad stuff. Oh, you can't be much takers of wine. You can't be a drunk. Oh, there's a liquor store in every corner. Blah, 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 and so on and so on. We drill this into you because those are easy to explain. Those drugs. Don't do drugs. Drugs are dangerous. Drugs will take your life. Those are easy because what you can imagine as a bad thing because you've seen it is easy to tell somebody. We're going to deal with something that's a little difficult because you had no understanding over it. We talk about leaven. Over 300 and some odd times your mother speaks to you in the Holy Word about leaven. Leaven, leaven, and unleavened. 300 sometimes. We eat a multitude of things. Now we eat a multitude of things. We eat stuff that, we ain't supposed to eat. We eat stuff we are supposed to eat. We eat stuff that probably other folks don't eat. The mother never talks about nothing but 300 some odd times. Now she told you about pork, but not 300 some times. That's swine. That's one thing mother focuses on that has something to even do with your deliverance. That you have taken so lightly because nobody stops and thinks, including the reared. I was reared up under the same bullshit y'all was reared up under. Let's take Egypt, the house bondage. When you get hungry, you want to eat something. In Egypt, you're taught to buy a burger, fried chicken. Everywhere you go, don't go to Texas Roadhouse, Charlie, go wherever these places are. I don't have to name them all. But the first thing they're going to bring to your table is bread. Would you like some bread? Want some bread? Yeah. Whoa, we want bread. We start our children off in the morning with biscuits, pancakes. You name it. Toast. Gotta have all this. See, we start them off first thing in the morning with leaven. And then we slather it with not just butter. We slather it with syrup and jelly that ain't made from grapes. I don't know what that stuff is that y'all squeeze out them tubes. And you give this unreal stuff to your children to start their day off. But nobody thinks about the combinations that you put together in hell and the words that are used for these combinations. You teach your children to make themselves a sandwich. I mean, even when it comes to cereal. Cereal is just a bunch of yeast in flour with sugar on it. Sugar and yeast, when they are combined, create fungus. Israel and Judah are not to consume fungus. And you can't go nowhere and get bread unless it's got yeast and sugar in it. Pull up a recipe. Oh, make sure you put in 2 to 6 tablespoons, a cup of sugar. Well, gotta have that yeast. Yeast is leaven. So we're going to look at Exodus 16:3. Let me get started with Exodus 16:3. No, I told y'all Deuteronomy, didn't I?
Yeah.
Deuteronomy.
Let's go to Deuteronomy 18. Let's do Deuteronomy 18, get that done. Verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, right? Or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. When they little, the first thing you teach them is witchcraft. Mother said a witch. You teach them how to make a sand witch. Now, the reason why I know this is very true is because nobody uses sand in their sandwiches. Who uses sand? But they put sand in front of it because that gives you the theory of the desert. Out in the desert, they ran into a bunch of witches. Other nations had many witches. The ones that Mother said, do not mingle yourselves with them. They take leavened bread and slap it, meat in between it. Now you're getting leaven and meat you shouldn't probably be eating combined together. Go to any corner. Would you like extra bacon on that? Cheese. Triple cheeseburger. Huh? Ah! I don't eat that. I eat fried chicken. Oh, you eat the leaven all over the chicken. They used enriched flour. Enriched flour includes the leaven already.
Oh, praise. For knowledge.
See how we're so easily tricked.
Yes.
Would you like soup? We'll give you some crackers.
Crackers in the soup.
Huh?
Crackers in the soup.
Witch. Mother said, are a witch. Anything that has the name witch on it, do not handle. She went on further and even told you about witchcraft, but right here she tells you are a witch. So you think that means a little lady with a black crooked little hat on her head.
And a broom.
It's your broom. Y'all ain't never seen a nigga riding no brooms. Some of their cars might be worth the price of a broom, but they don't ride no brooms. Says witch.
Witch.
The trickery of it is your mind's been taught by cartoons that's what a witch is. Witch is anything with that word W-I-T-C-H. Don't touch it. It's witchcraft. Don't touch it. Something as simple as leaven? Yes, let's see. Let's see what that means with mother. Let's look at how important this is. Let's go to Exodus 16:3. And I want you to look a word up for me, sis, when you get a chance. Craft. C-R-A-F-T. But we're going to read Exodus while she's doing that. Exodus 16. Let's go to verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. I could go to Dunkin' Donuts. If I didn't go to Dunkin' Donuts, I could go to Krispy Kreme. I could go to Kroger. I'm out here in the damn wilderness. You don't have no stores where I can get anything I want. The good stuff. There's no 3-layer cakes out here. Leaven. Bread. You crying in the wilderness. Now, let me bring this home for you so that your understanding is a little clearer. You crying in the wilderness for something to eat, and you didn't say prime motherfucking rib. Come on, somebody think. If me came to you right now and said, let's go to dinner. Oh, I'll just have a piece of bread. Bread is extremely important to the diet of the Hebrew Israelite. But there's a type of bread that's important. Huh? Now, in America, we're taught the witch sandwich, which makes no sense if you think about it. You're not eating sand. And what does a sandwich have to do with witch? But we're going to go out of this hell and look at other nations. When other nations want to do this similar act, they use unleavened bread. And here in America, we have places which sells unleavened bread with meat in between it, and it's called a wrap. It's not called a sandwich. It's called a wrap. There's no leaven in it. There's no witch in it. There's nothing to harm you when you take the leaven out. Is it important to mother about the leaven?
Yes.
Because she said, eat unleavened. She even told you to go on a regimen 7 whole days. And I'll tell you another secret. Y'all think leaven's just bad in the bread. Just having leaven in the house of a Hebrew Israelite is dangerous because it can get on you. She said, even remove all leaven from your home. But leaven is alive. Y'all know yeast is alive. Just set it in a corner and see what it do once you add a little sugar to it. You'd have made the thing. It'll blow all up. Punch it, hit that motherfucker, boom! Cover it up, come back. It done blew up again. Brother say, get that leaven out your home. Get it out. You have to separate yourself from the leaven, because leaven in our children does something to their brain. Leaven mixed with sugar does something to our children's brains. That is why everything commercially is given to them with leaven. Y'all know that coffee ferments in leaven? Look some of this stuff up. Don't just... See, that's what happens. And Rib's being good because Rib is sharing this with you because of a reason. All those years we went And no one had this knowledge and understanding because you had to suffer this for 400 years. But because we're in the end, you can stop now. Everything you learn from the Most High Living God, that means you're coming to a close. The curse was supposed to be with you always. But when you get the knowledge, that's what was taken from you. Don't teach them Negroes how to read. Put it in a book so y'all can know, but they won't know. They can't read it. Then they had the little kids playing with the Negroes, and they wanted them to read to them because they got tired of reading, so they taught them how to read so they can just sit there and listen to a story. And the Negroes was learning how to read. They would go back and then they teach somebody else how to read. And then came the troubles of the white man. Because my mother started lifting some of the curses and showing you things that you did not know. This is a joke, though. This is funny. The high priest went out and got the mail today, and the rib, he said, "Here, baby, this is yours." And I get excited. It says, "Get excited. You're pre-approved for the bread cashback card." We want y'all to see bread.
Bread.
I thought that was really, really. Today of all days, this is what came in the mail. I need a bread cash card. Mother's very humorous. Let's get craft real quick.
All praise. Craft. Skill in planning, making, or executing. A skill in deceiving to gain an end.
Woo! So your enemies knew all along that yeast, leaven, is against the house of Levi and Judah.
Mm-hmm.
So they use craft.
Mm-hmm.
That's where witchcraft is. Huh? Let's do something me shared with the family. The me wants to share it here too, before she does sugar. In Deuteronomy 4:34, it says, "Or hath God assayed to go take him a nation from the midst of other nations by," what's that, y'all? Temptations are by signs and by wonders. So in hell, we have a whole company that produces bread. It's called Wonder. What does that have to do with bread? You wonder what's in it. You wonder what it's made of. You wonder why it's called Wonder. But they knew that they produced the leaven that would keep Israel in bondage, and they called their company Wonder. Because they were going to make the product that Israel was going to consume. Israel and Judah were going to consume the whole time they were in bondage. Go to the Wonder Company and look at all the things they make with yeast. Nah, they do the same thing with wheat. They do the same thing with wheat. You got to make your own. We're going to get some recipes for unleavened bread. We're going to find some good wheat. We're going to get the non-leavened wheat and flour to use to start producing our bread. And let me explain this to you too, since a lot of people may be still confused. The only thing that was made in the holy temple of God was bread. Showbread. Unleavened bread. They had tables and a thrashing floor where they beat that, they worked that dough and worked that dough. And guess what? There wasn't no eggs in it either, because eggs make leaven. Whoop them eggs up. Beat them eggs and they gonna become leaven. So mother got a whole factory in the temple and they ain't doing nothing but making bread. And when mother come and visit, mother want her some bread.
Good bread.
Bread's important. But me got a verse. Sis is gonna do the sugar, the refined, all that stuff. Just a little information so you can get on your journey of getting rid of the leaven and sugar. White sugar is refined. Yes, you know all the bad things about the refined, but this is the key words. It's unwanted. Now, when you hear unwanted, the first thing you think about, oh, I want this because they took out all the bad stuff out of the stuff that was not wanted. No. Unwanted in America means all the nutrients that they don't want you to receive. All the good stuff that would have been in it, they removed it. It's called unwanted. So that what you receive is the bad and the negative.
Trash.
All praise. Trickery in words. All right, go ahead, sis.
Refined with impurities or unwanted elements having been removed.
Stop. Your brain is programmed to believe they're talking about the bad stuff. They didn't say that. Because I would have to tell you, I'm refining this to remove the bad stuff that's not healthy for you. They just use words. Keep going.
Removed by processing.
Now, me want you to think in your heart of hearts. When the first Egypt, and Joseph was collecting up all the grains, you never read one time where Joseph sent it to the reprocessing plant. When they came to get grains, they opened up the door, poured it in the bags, and they moved on. But here in hell, they have to put their hands on it. When an animal puts their hands on something, you would not go out into the field and see deer eating and go and eat behind the deers. Would you? I hope you wouldn't. An animal's an animal. Just because you see the deers and you don't consider the deers because they don't walk upright, you don't see them as people. But deer got color. I rest my case on that one. I ain't gonna go I'd have to start a whole nother teaching. Come on, sis.
Sugar. Natural sugar is naturally occurring in food. Refined sugar may be from a natural source, but it has been processed, so only sugar remains.
Stop. Can I make any sense of that? Oh, I'm bringing you my sugar. I'm going to fix your sugar so I can give you back some sugar where only sugar is. Stop talking to me like I'm a fool. But that's how they've been talking to you. You mean I already have sugar? But I'm going to give it to you, and then you're going to take stuff out of it and give me back sugar. Nope. Go ahead, sis.
Sugar is nutrition for yeast.
Oh, suck it now. Put them two motherfuckers together. They having sex. Go on. You don't want what happens after they get done. Them some motherfuckers, boy. Woo-wee!
It consumes it and produces CO2, which is carbon dioxide. Yeast produce enzymes that react with sugar. The yeast, like most fungi,
let me rest. All of Israel's running from mushrooms.
run to you.
Running from mushrooms, and then they go in the kitchen and get a scoop of flour and get all the fungi they can handle. Go ahead, sis.
Yeast respires oxygen. And
that's why when you get the yeast inside of you and you breathe, you giving it what it needs to blow up. Yeah, rib, as you can see, the ribs have lots of yeast. What else you got, babe?
okay. The fungus Aspergillus, is that nigger?
It's a nigger. I couldn't wait. No, it's not. You know, they're not gonna spell it that way, but it is Niger.
Woo! Okay, the fungus consumes sugar in a sequential manner that is not mediated by carbon.
The nigger consumes.
Yeah, the fungus is the yeast.
Yeah. All praise.
Sugar transporters play a key role in fungal growth.
Come on now. You ain't never got no bread that didn't have sugar in it. They want the fungi to grow for you to eat it.
Is that why I get mold?
Yes, that's why it gets mold, sweetheart. Oh, but then they get, the mold made penicillin.
Oh,
Well, then you make penicillin with it, because we're not going to consume anymore. You're going to have all the penicillin you could possibly want. When the niggas stop eating your shit, the pork folks is running for the hills trying to figure out what can we start selling, because black folks don't eat pork no more.
Right.
We ain't going to eat your bread either.
Yes.
All praise.
All praise.
last one.
The last one. Here we go.
What foods get rid of fungus in your body?
Now listen to this. What foods get rid of fungus in your body?
Herbs.
Apple cider vinegar,
Apple cider vinegar.
green veggies and green drinks,
That stuff you hate. Well, we got some that love it, but most of y'all don't care too much for the green stuff. Go ahead.
coconut oil,
Coconut oil,
garlic,
garlic,
ground flax seeds,
ground flaxseed. We love some flaxseed.
chia seeds,
Chia seeds,
unsweetened cranberry juice.
unsweetened cranberry juice. And this is what the rib suggests. My daughter told me to get a cold press juicer, and it will get all the juice for you. And yes, it's natural. If you want unsweetened, anything unsweetened, never buy it processed, because if it's gone through the processing, it is no longer good. Do your own. Do your own. Some of you should have enough money in your jar of speaking a name. You said, I can't afford one. The rib could buy 3. She's got enough money. Me's gonna show y'all my jar. Me had to leave my jar and go to a bank, a big old electronic bank. Me got that many quarters. Yes. Me's learning. But I've calmed down a little bit, but me still catch myself. Me had to put a quarter in yesterday from it. But all praise. So me gonna go and read this last one in Deuteronomy, and then we're gonna explain a few more things to the family. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8. And me's gonna show you something that no one takes into consideration, because we have been so blinded here. This is what the Lord means by blind leading the blind. And she's going to open the eye of the blind, because our eyes are being opened to understandings and things we did not know. So let's start at 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply, and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee, to prove thee, to know that was what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. 3 is where it gets good. And he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with bread. Manna is bread.
All praise.
Look how important bread is. Okay? Unleavened bread can be made sweet. So you can use honey. You can use other sources than just sugar. White refined sugar. There's other sugars. Other juices have flavors, which have sweetener, which could be sweetened. Mother could have fed you with anything in the world. She fed you with manna, which thou knowest not. Neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doeth not live by bread only. Bread's a very important staple in our lives. It is life sustaining. My great grandpappy's father sent his sons to Egypt to get what? Grains. So that they could make bread to live. There was a famine in the land.
Oh, praise.
Famine is coming. The house of Levi and Judah is going to learn how to make unleavened bread. You know unleavened bread keeps longer than leavened bread?
Of course. Molded.
You're going to make unleavened bread to make it through the famine.
All praise.
All praise. What you live by is, but on every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doeth man live. You do not have to eat leavened bread. You should not eat leavened bread. There's a time of celebration where you can have leaven, but it's very few far and in between in the Holy Word. Mostly it's unleavened bread. There's a reason for that. Our children get fungus in their brains. Yeast goes everywhere in their bodies. Me believe it's the biggest part of mucus inside of you. That's why you cough up all this mucus. Some people say, well, I don't eat any of those things. I don't eat any of those things. Somebody give me some, honey, go get me some bread.
Years worth of it.
You got to build up inside. There's a lot of people who know about the upper and the lower colon. Your upper colon is filled with yeast. Years of bread being packed and packed and packed inside of you. That's why some of y'all have trouble shedding. Because there's only a slither where some of the new stuff can slide by to try to get it to the lower intestine. That's why you're always constipated. That yeast has swelled inside of your upper colon. And you can't push anything through. And some of it that you're trying to push through attaches and it gets stuck. So we're going to get cleaned up, Israel. This is why this knowledge has come to us. All these years. I know y'all enjoyed it because we couldn't go to Texas Roadhouse. Like, would you like more bread? Well, honey, we've been waiting for you to come. Yes, we want a whole other basket. Didn't know what we were doing. Every place you go, they give it to you free. You're going to order a meal to eat, but they want you to clog up everything you got inside and you fill yourself with bread first. That's why they have the to go. We got them. We got them. You've been tricked, baby.
Yes.
You've been tricked.
That's why we want to go.
It's time to go. We're getting ready to go home. We're getting ready to go, family. So the rib didn't want to go over an hour, but of course, you know she can never do right. Did we finish Exodus 16 and 3? We may have stopped.
Bread on.
Yeah, we read.
Okay. Okay.
He stopped at bread.
So you know that in Egypt, bread was plentiful. They enjoyed it. Boy, I can see them now. I mean, y'all, I want you to think, and I want you to now use your mind and see your neighborhood. See where you go. Look at all the lit up signs. Look at all the flashing signs telling you to come in and get leaven. Everywhere you go in the store, what's first? The bakery. Now, they kind of divide that up a little bit with the fruits and the vegetables, but what's the first thing you smell when you walk in? Oh, they're cooking donuts. Oh, they're baking cakes. Oh, they got them loaves of bread. First thing to greet you when you come in the store.
Yes.
They got you, Levi and Judah. They're going to understand that right now. We're getting ready to change that. This house is.
All praise.
This house is getting ready to change all those things. So the rib wants you to look at all the places where your mother tells you about leavened bread and unleavened bread. And we have learned today that bread is a very important staple in survival. Wheats and grains before they're processed could last you forever almost. Once they crack that up and take the covering off of it, it's going to go bad. If we could grow our own, would be fantastic. But you know, we don't do that anymore. We live in the city and we live in the fancy areas where people don't want to see all that. I don't want to sit out on my beautiful patio and look in your yard and you've got a farm. The homeowner association will probably come and tell you. If you wanted to live on a farm, you shouldn't have moved here. We don't want chickens and hogs and goats and camels. Here. All praise. All praise. Prophetess loves her family. And the Most High God loves you. She loves you so that she's given you all the secrets of hell that you may change your life. All these things to eliminate for when Elijah comes, you can clean. She's going to clean us. But look at some of the cleaning you can do yourself. Look at some of the cleaning you can do yourself. Okay? We've always known that those burgers were no good for us. Who can eat a whole quarter pound? The combination. A quarter pound of meat in one sitting. That's lunch. You go to McDonald's and you get the quarter pounder. You go to Wendy's and you get the triple.
Only thing good on is the lettuce.
In between the leaven. You eat three pieces with that. So we're not going to do that anymore, family. We love you. We hope everyone here has a fantastic Sabbath. You're going to be busy because I know everybody's going to get into reading it. Now you're going to read. You want to read about all this leaven. It was very important to Mother that when Israel left out, they didn't even have time for the cakes to rise. All praise.
All praise.
How good our Mother is. Love you so much, family. Have a fantastic Sabbath. And hopefully we'll see you the next time Mother gives me some information to share to her children. All praise to the Most High living God of Israel. Shalom.
All praise.
All praise.
Love you.